Okay, so I've had a really good question about premature ejaculation and how embodiment practice might be a remedy and a solution for that. And first of all, before going any further, it's important to say that premature ejaculation happens to many, many, many men. And it's a question that I've had very commonly over the years. So if this is something that you're going through, you might be going through it very alone because it takes a lot of courage to share with somebody else what you're actually going through. But from somebody who works as a coach in this field, I can tell you that is very common, particularly in young men in their 20s and in this period of time. So how do we work with it, with embodiment? I think the first thing to understand about premature ejaculation is what triggers it. And a lot of people, their minds goes in a more medical direction, but in the vast majority of cases, it's not that at all. It's simply about anxiety and tension. So the key is to become curious about what actually happens during and leading up to the premature ejaculation, what's actually happening in your body and what's happening with your awareness. And that's a useful meditation to bring in as soon as you get into the bedroom with your girl and you close the door. Like, what happens in that moment from door closing, the two of you going over to the bed, you taking off your clothes together, and then becoming physically intimate. So that whole sequence of events is something to really start putting a meticulous level of attention and awareness on. And the secret is to try and feel as much as possible. And the reason premature ejaculation happens is because there's so much anxiety that usually all of our awareness pops out of the body. It's just not in the body anymore. And that's why I'm asking you, when you get into the bedroom and you close the door, turn off the lights and you get naked, where is your awareness? And if you start to realize that you're really not present in the moment and you bring it back into the body, then you've got the beginnings of a solution here, because you can start to feel what's happening inside. And it's likely to be deeply uncomfortable, which is why your awareness flies out of your body. We stop being in our bodies usually when there's pain or there's an overwhelming amount of sensation or emotion. So to bring your awareness back in the body requires you to stay with the tense and challenging feelings of overwhelm. So that's the first thing, to learn how to host a higher degree of intensity in your body. And by being curious, and what's going to help you here is feeling and slowing down and breathing. Like, if you can start to feel a little bit more, oh, I'm anxious. Oh, actually, I can feel how some of my muscles are clenched. Then you can start bringing breath into the body. Okay, is it okay to be with the anxiety just the way it is? Yes. Okay, great. What happens if I just take a few breaths and feel the anxiety as it is in this moment? Okay, great. I can do that. So this is the kind of internal practice that you'll need to do to stay in your body with all the sensation that's occurring. If there's a part of you that's saying, no, it's not okay to be with this, like, I'm really anxious, that's not cool, I need to show her that I'm this stud and I know what I'm doing. Well, as soon as you've got a part that's put in on a mask or a kind of performance for her, then it's actually going to make the anxiety worse, and it's not going to give you the time or the space or the intimacy that you need to actually get over your issue. So trying to keep it all together and not humiliate or embarrass yourself by looking like you're anxious is the kind of is the very protection mechanism that keeps the premature ejaculation happening, because you don't get to actually feel what's going on inside you. So what's actually needed here is the vulnerability to say to your partner, because you can't just go into the bedroom and start doing inner practices and go into this self-dialogue. You're intimate with another person. She wants to sleep with you, which is why you're there in the first place. So something needs to be said like, listen, my love, this is challenging for me. I'm so excited to be with you. I really want to be with you. I'm excited. This is great. You want to make sure she feels loved. And I can get nervous, anxious when it comes to sex with a new partner, or I just get nervous and anxious. I haven't had a lot of experience, or I love sex and I'm excited to be with you, but since it's our first time, I feel quite anxious. Let's take this slowly. I really want to be present in this moment. Let's take this slowly. I really want to feel myself and become calm and take this slowly with you. So these are ways that you can speak to her that show her both your excitement, but that you need to slow down in your process. And that's something that you then have to start doing, just to slow down. Okay, I've told her that I'm anxious. Great. I told her that I'm happy to be with her, but I'm also a little bit scared. Great. She's going to afford me a bit more time. I don't have to put the mask on anymore. And then you can get down to the real work of being with the sensations and the overwhelm. So when you start becoming physically intimate, you're on the bed, kissing, caressing, all that kind of stuff. The practice is to stay in the body and feel, breathe. One of the core principles is when sexual energy is really stuck around the pelvis and the groin, then it builds up into a massive state of pressure, and then we need to ejaculate. So one of the core practices, both to do in the moment, is to breathe and see if you can relax any tension that you feel around your hips and your pelvis and your groin. So is your anus puckered? Are your kind of glutes firing off and tensing up? What about your legs? What about your abdomen? Can you do a little bit of a body scan and just see if you can breathe into all of that pelvic lower body area and just release and relax? And if you do, and if you can, a lot of the built up energy, sexual energy in the groin, will also start to dissipate. And it's like Boyle's law, if you've ever done physics, if you can remember that far to school. The pressure of a gas will always be less when there's more distance for that gas to go through, when the volume of the container is bigger. So the more that you can relax the muscles in your body, the more your body becomes a relaxed container, and the pressurized gas of your sexual energy can actually spread through your body. And that's where you want to be long term. You want to be able to spread your sexual energy right the way through your body, because that makes your entire body an erogenous zone, and then you start having these wonderful kind of non-ejaculatory orgasms or multiple orgasms, or this great sensitivity to pleasure, right? So you can do that in the moment with her. In terms of training, there's a lot of stuff in the Lover, Outlaw, Trickster, Magician, the Approach in the Body section that you can do to get a head start on this. So any of the practices around opening the pelvis or opening the feet, legs, and hips, they are in general going to open up some of the tense, like chronically tense musculature that is always keeping your pelvis closed and not allowing sexual energy to conduct and flow in that region. So that's some work that you can do to start making your pelvis a more expanded and open space. And then really with the self-pleasure exercise, which is section 12 of Approaching the Body, you're actually practicing through self-pleasure, through masturbation, to be conscious and not go into one of these porn-conditioned kind of bending over the laptop, tense all the muscles in the body, quick 5-minute ejaculation. And guys around the world are training themselves to get off in such a way. Instead, you're adding full breath to the body, full openness to the body, laying flat on your back, not using computer materials, using just your own quality of touch. And every time you get really, really aroused, like you're getting 7 out of 10, and you think, wow, I'm going to get to the point of no return, you ease back a little bit and you actually breathe and you actually release. And what you're doing when you do that, even though you're alone and it's a conscious masturbation, you're training your body so that when arousal and sensation gets almost too much to handle, you can back off a little bit and you can actually relax all of the muscles that are contracted around your pelvic region. And what that does for me when I practice is it buys me another 5 minutes. And I think that this is what endurance in sex is all about. Sex is naturally going to stoke your fires. When the fire gets too compressed and you fear an ejaculation is imminent, then can you slow down enough? Can you breathe enough? Can you relax all those muscles in the body? Can you start to bring attention and touch, or even her touch, to different areas of the body? So sex is not just about your genital, but she might stroke your hair, she might stroke your chest, you might kiss for a few moments, you might pay attention to some part of her body, she might start to give pleasure to a different part of your body. That just buys you time. And then you relax, and you relax, and the pressure abates and you buy another 5 minutes. And this is what, when people talk about 3-4 hour tantric lovemaking sessions, this is what it's all about. It's a continual game of getting close to the point of no return and continually relaxing and buying yourself a little bit more time. And what ends up happening is you don't just have this kind of mediocre, tepid sex that's too scared to go near to orgasm the whole time. It might feel like that for 5, 10, 15 minutes, but all of a sudden, because you're restraining for so long, the energy actually gets built up in a much different way. I get tingles all over my feet and my hands and my head, and I go into extraordinary states of kind of meltedness, because the energy relaxes and decompresses out of the pelvis and travels all over the body. It's really a different thing. So going back to your premature ejaculation, it's exactly that. You try and feel your body. You allow yourself the anxious feelings, and you just try and slow yourself down and buy yourself more time. And my suspicion is, so you can do all this self-practice, right? You're training your body, you're topping up your body, you're doing your gym reps, so cometh the moment, you've got some skills installed within you. But really the biggest win, I think, is about the intimacy and not having to put on a performance or a mask anymore, and letting her know that, wow, you're so happy to be with her that you could get very easily anxious and blow your load, and you want to work with her as a team to slow it down, to stretch your pleasure out, to make sure you go for a long time, to stay in really good communication with her about it. I think doing all these things, you're going to make progress on 90-95% of your problem. And then the other side of things is, say you do ejaculate, how premature is premature? Is it while you're still in your pants, or is it when you're inside her, or somewhere along the way? If an accident does happen, as long as you're practicing a little bit better than usual, you're a bit more open in your communication, you're a little bit more relaxed, you're a little bit more trying, you're a little bit more feeling your anxiety and the turn on, even though it's uncomfortable, then you can congratulate yourself. And if you do end up having some PE, then see if you can enjoy it and laugh and celebrate it. So when ejaculation happens, you can either be really tense, and what that does is the kind of echoes and reverberation of your orgasm can't really travel very far within you, because you're clenching and you're tensed, in all your body mechanics kind of shuts it down. But if you can feel that your ejaculation is coming, the more you relax, the more the echoes and the reverberations are going to be felt all the way through your body. So if I'm thinking, oh no, my orgasm is coming, I'm about to blow my load, and all of a sudden I'm like, no, don't blow my load, I want to keep it in, I want to have more performance. My load wants to blow, but the rest of my body is constricting, and I end up being in this kind of guilt, shame, dismissive, cramping down, rejection of my own orgasm, and then whatever pleasure kind of seeps through, I've already built myself an internal hell, so I don't even enjoy it. What if instead you're going to have a premature orgasm? You know, maybe she just took your pants down and you're hard and she's got a hand round it, and that is enough. Like you're going to go. Then another thing to practice, and it's aligned with everything we've said so far, another thing to practice is like, okay, I've hit the point of no return. It's done. Can I open and relax and surrender as fully as possible and enjoy the impending orgasm? Like you might have some 20 seconds between the point of no return and coming. What if you hit the point of no return and you were like, screw it, I'm just going to like enjoy the hell out of this. I'm going to relax. I'm just going to shoot this wad as far as it will go. Like to hell with it. I'm going to really have fun. What if you just allowed yourself to do that? Again, as you do that, it's another training in relaxing all of your body and your musculature, and having an open heart and a sense of relaxation. Sorry, baby, I made a real mess of this. I wanted to go longer, but what can I say? You're that pretty to me. You turn me on that much. You're that much of a powerful goddess. I worship you. Look what you did. Oh my God. Give me 5 minutes. I'm going to tidy myself back up, and I will, give you oral, do something for you to not embarrass my name in the rest of this night that we've got together. See if you can salvage the situation through your own ease and delight like that. There's no problem in ejaculating. There's no problem in doing it fast. What causes all the suffering is that you want it to be different, and you try with all your bodily might to keep a lid on things. And acceptance, self-love, relaxation, continuing in connection with her all the way really, really, really is the key. Breathe, relax. Yeah. These are the principles. They run through everything that we do in this embodiment course.